it's Lori. I am stopping in today with a video to show you how to use the new Tartan ink stamp from Altenew. This is an amazing new stamp. It gives you the capability of stamping plaid on your projects. There's several different ways to use this with all the different images included, and I want to show you just a quick and simple way to use this. We're going with a monochromatic card today using gray inks as well as some black ink, the Obsidian ink. I'm also using the Mega Hello die. I've got a die cut white cardstock as well as a piece in fun foam. You'll need a gray card front as well as a white card base and your MISTI. I also have the long piece aside on a block, just a little bit easier way to use that image, so I'll show you that here in a little bit. For now, I'm taping down the gray card front just on the corners with some light tack masking tape, and I'm lining up the large plaid image in my MISTI. It's really easy to line this image up because of the grid lines on the MISTI. So I've got that down, and I'm going to use black Obsidian ink. If you don't have this ink, this is my favorite ink. It stamps the most crisp image. It's amazing. So I've got that down on the card front, and I'm going to go ahead and add in one of the square images. There's 3 different sizes to fill color in all of the grids along this plaid stamp. But today I'm just going to use the little pinstripe image. For this lighter block, I'm going to be using Silver Lake ink from Altenew. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous gray, and it's just a little bit darker than my cardstock. I'm just going to stamp these every other block to fill in that little pinstriped image, just to give that an extra plaid detail. So you could do this freehand with a block. It's really easy to line up within that large grid image, but just to make sure that I'm stamping it nice and straight, I went ahead and used my MISTI. As you can see, I've got 2 blocks at the bottom with tape, but I found that it was super easy to just remove the bottom 2 squares of tape to get those squares filled in with the striped image. That low tack tape peels off really nicely, and then I was able to just line up the block and stamp that in place. Next, I'm going to show you how I did the larger plaid lines. Of course, you absolutely could line those up in your MISTI. It would just take a little bit of paper shifting. But for me, I found that adding that longer image to an acrylic block was just a quick and easy way to get that full plaid look. For this next ink, I'm using gray denim. It's just a little bit lighter than the Silver Lake. It'll show up on top of what I've already stamped, but just add another level of color. So I'm just inking up this block and stamping the stripe through each of the sections. So I'm stamping the long image across each of the sections, 4 horizontal, and then we'll do the 3 vertical. It's super simple to line up without using the MISTI, but again, you could use the MISTI if you wanted to. So once I have these images, that is really the finishing touch to this plaid background. The different color combinations you could use on this stamp set are endless. You definitely have so many great options to make an adorable plaid background. I just love how this looks even in gray. So now I'm going to fold my card base, scoring this at 4.5, and I'm going to add some adhesive to the card base so we can attach the card front. The way I line up my card fronts, you just hold that up against your thumb and forefinger once you have it lined up and drop it down onto your card base for a perfect match. Next, I'm going to take some liquid adhesive and add it to the Hello die cut on the fun foam. I always leave the fun foam die cut inside the negative so the image doesn't distort, and it's easier to add the cardstock die cut to the fun foam. The fun foam gives it the perfect dimension. So now I'm just adding the white cardstock onto the fun foam, and you've got a couple of seconds to just slide that in place and make sure it's all lined up. I am going to take a stiff bristled brush, I can't ever say that right, and just sweep off the extra paper from the die cut. Just a cheap paintbrush is a great way to have a little cleanup on your card fronts or your die cuts. Now I'm just going to remove the negatives and pop out the sentiment from the fun foam. And now I have a perfect dimensional sentiment to add to my card front. Adding just a little bit of liquid adhesive to the back of the fun foam will ensure that this sentiment is secured nice and tight on the front of the card base. Now that I have all the adhesive in place, I'm just going to flip the sentiment over and place it right on the card front. At this point, you could add some embellishments or little floral images or anything you want to, but I love to keep my cards clean and simple, and I feel like that plaid is definitely just a statement piece. So at this point, my card is complete. I did want to take a quick second to talk about my workspace. This new mat is from Altenew. It is an amazing mat with great grid lines as far as lining your projects up. In the center is my favorite part. This spot perfectly centers an A2 size card, horizontal or vertical, so you can line up sentiments, masking tape, whatever you're doing to make a perfectly centered card. I hope that you've enjoyed my card today. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.